ladies and gentlemen, I'm Joe Rapar, and this is Tab, the Truth Always Boomer. Well, I'm going to make this video for the people of the great state of Michigan. I don't know if you saw it, but Stabenow, our great senator, Debbie Stabenow, gave remarks to the Senate regarding the impeachment trial, and it was a total abomination. I was totally appalled and disgusted by what she said. So I'm going to go through it and show you how dishonest and how unprincipled she is, and how she just misrepresents the facts again, as usual, and totally followed the party line and disregarded the facts altogether. Let's pull the tab on that and see what happens.
President.
The senator from Michigan.
Thank you, Mr. President. America is a nation of laws, and no person, not even the President of the United States, is above these laws. No person, not even the President of the United States, is above these laws. Unfortunately, President Donald Trump has abused his power and acted as if he is above the law. He did this by holding up critical military aid to pressure a new foreign leader to investigate a political rival for his own political benefit. Then he did everything he could to try and cover it up after he got caught. The facts show the president did everything he could to cover up the truth, put our elections under even greater risk of foreign interference, and damage the constitutional checks and balances essential to our democracy.
Well, let's look at those facts, shall we? But before we do, remember that their whole case is predicated on the Whistleblower's Report. You know, Eric Ciaramella, the whistleblower, who said that he heard something that he didn't like on the phone call, and that there was some kind of delay of the military aid on the phone call, and that he heard it from his friend's mother's uncle's godfather's sister's roommate's dog, that there was, some real trouble with this phone call. Let's check it out, though, shall we?
The content of the July 25 call was in line with the Trump administration's legitimate concerns about corruption and reflected the hope that President Zelensky, who campaigned on a platform of reform, would finally clean up Ukraine. So what did President Trump and President Zelensky discuss in the July 25 call? Two issues: burden sharing, corruption. Just as importantly, what wasn't discussed on the July 25 call? There was no discussion of the paused security assistance on the July 25 call. House Democrats keep pointing to President Zelensky's statement that, "I would also like to thank you for your great support in the area of defense." But he wasn't talking there about the paused security assistance. He tells us in the very next sentence exactly what he was talking about: Javelin missiles. "We are ready," President Zelensky continues, "to continue to cooperate for the next steps. Specifically, we are almost ready to buy more Javelins from the United States for defense purposes." Javelins are the anti-tank missiles only made available to the Ukrainians by President Trump. President Obama refused to give Javelins to the Ukrainians for years. Javelin sales were not part of the security assistance that had been paused at the time of the call.
Well, Ms. Stabenow, I guess you were sleeping during that part of the testimony or the evidence presented, because that just blew your whole case up. They didn't even talk about the paused military aid on a phone call. So how can you have a quid pro quo when you don't even have a quo or a quid, you moron? But let's continue with your baseless and unfounded conclusions, shall we?
Let's be clear. We are here because of one person. We are here because of one person, President Donald J. Trump.
Nope. You must have been sleeping during that part also there, Ms. Stabenow. We're here because of one person and one person only, and that person is Eric Ciaramella, the whistleblower. So let's continue with your nonsense, shall we?
The president was provided multiple opportunities to prove his innocence. Once impeachment moved to the Senate, the president again had numerous opportunities to defend himself.
Hey, moron! Fucking moron!
Damn, I don't know where you live, but in the constitutional republic that I live in, no one has to prove their innocence. You have to prove their guilt. What the hell are you talking about? Well, anyway, let's continue with your bullshit.
The American people and the people of Michigan strongly supported having additional documents and relevant witnesses.
Liar, liar, pants on fire, liar, liar, pants on fire, liar, liar, pants on fire, lie, 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 lie.
Well, that's an outright lie, because I know millions of people in the state of Michigan who don't agree with that. So where are you getting that from? You're just pulling that right out of your ass.
Yet the Senate did not hear from people who clearly have key relevant information, including former National Security Advisor John Bolton, who's willing to testify. And in fact, it's just a matter of time, and we will hear publicly, all of us, what he would have said to the Senate.
Well, okie dokie then. Let's hear what Bolton would have said to the Senate, or what would have come out of his testimony, shall we?
Where I was really honored to have a chance to participate in that, and now with the new government in Ukraine, to see what might be possible going forward on a whole variety of fronts.
Do you plan to meet President Zelensky, and what messages did you bring to him?
Well, I will be meeting President Zelensky. He and President Trump have already spoken twice. President called to congratulate President Zelensky on his election and then on his success in the parliamentary election. They were very warm and cordial calls. We're hoping that they'll be able to meet in Warsaw and have a few minutes together, because the success of Ukraine, maintaining its freedom, its system of representative government, a free market economy free of corruption, and dealing with the problems of the Donbass and the Crimea are high priorities here, obviously, but high priorities for the United States as well.
Acting White House Chief of Staff and Director of the Office of Management and Budget, Mick Mulvaney.
Well, here's some of what Mick Mulvaney would have said from the National Review. Mulvaney issued a statement as Democrats circle over impeachment hearing. Acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney attempted to clarify comments made during a Thursday press briefing in which he suggested that the White House actively withheld Ukrainian military aid in exchange for pressure on Ukraine to look into its involvement in corruption during the 2016 election. Mulvaney released a statement saying, "Let me be clear. There was absolutely no quid pro quo between Ukrainian military aid and any investigation into the 2016 election. The president never told me to withhold any money until the Ukrainians did anything related to the server."
And it became clear that they believe, as the president himself has said on many occasions, that he has power to do anything he wants under Article 2 of the Constitution.
Hey, moron! Fucking moron!
Yeah, that's okay. Don't provide any context as to when he said that. He was talking about he could fire anybody he wants whenever he wants. He can appoint anybody he wants. He basically can do anything he wants in that realm. He's in charge of foreign policy, and he can do whatever he wants. He's the president. But you didn't put that in your statement, did you? You left the context totally out. Yes, he can do whatever he wants when it comes to firing and hiring people. You moron.
They also argued that if the president thinks his reelection is in the public interest, and if he does anything to benefit his reelection, including getting help from a foreign country, then that too is in the public interest.
No. Let's back that Lupini bean truck up a bit there, shall we? Let's put some context to this. That's not what he was talking about. He was talking about investigating corruption, and if that corruption involved his political opponent, then he's got every right to investigate that political opponent. And that's in the best interest of the country, and if that helps him get reelected, so be it. That's what they're talking about, you dipshit. God damn it, you're lying. Taking everything out of context and just lying. God damn it, you're pissing me off.
These arguments have been made up to protect President Trump and cover up his wrongdoing. These arguments are nothing short of appalling.
It's political bullshit.
You're damn right it's political bullshit, and what's appalling is you thinking the people of the great state of Michigan are going to buy this bullshit you're spewing.
Is it now okay for the President of the United States to ask a foreign leader to investigate a member of Congress or any citizen?
Well, let's see. If there's clear evidence of corruption, like in the Biden's case, yeah, he can investigate that person. Absolutely. If he feels it's it's detrimental to the country, and there's absolute evidence of corruption, the president can investigate that in corruption. What do you think? Of course he can. You guys act like he was going around investigating people for no reason at all. He had perfectly legitimate reasons for investigating whoever he was investigating. You know, the Bidens and the corruption in the 2016 election and all that stuff. Yep, perfectly okay, because there was evidence of corruption and wrongdoing.
Is it now okay for the President of the United States to tell a governor that they're not getting any critical disaster relief until they endorse him in the next election?
Hey, moron! Fucking moron!
What the hell are you talking about? Nothing like that happened in this case. You don't have one scintilla of evidence that shows the president did anything remotely resembling that. None whatsoever. So stop the nonsense.
This is the United States of America. In our country, no president is above the law, and it is illegal for a candidate or any elected official to receive political help from a foreign government.
Nope. It's only illegal if the Republicans do it. If the Democrats do it, you just turn the other way. Oh, look, squirrel! Yeah. If the Democrats do it, it's perfectly okay with you. Yeah, toe that party line, get that power. That's okay if the Democrats do it. Check this out. From the New York Times, Ukraine court rules Manafort disclosure caused meddling in the U.S. election. By Andrew Kramer. Moscow, a court in Ukraine has ruled that officials in the country violated the law by revealing during the 2016 presidential election in the United States details of suspected illegal payments to Paul Manafort. And who did Paul Manafort work for? Yeah, you got it, Trump. But nothing to see here, folks. Look, squirrel. Nothing to see here, Ms. Stabenow, you partisan hack. Ukrainian efforts to sabotage Trump backfire from Politico. Let's read. Ukrainian government officials tried to help Hillary Clinton and undermine Trump by publicly questioning his fitness for office. They also disseminated documents implicating a top Trump aide in corruption and suggested they were investigating the matter, only to back away after the election. And they helped Clinton allies research damaging information on Trump and his advisors, a Politico investigation found. But nothing to see here, folks. Don't worry, everyone. We've got this totally under control. If the Democrats get political help from a foreign country, that's okay. We got it. We got this under control. Don't worry. We'll protect you. Don't worry. When we, the Democrats, get political help from a foreign country, look, squirrel! It's okay. We got this under control. It's only when we make shit up about Donald Trump. That's the real crisis. Worry about that. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to tell you that I did my part. I wrote an email to her right after I heard this, and it was a pretty scathing email, I thought. And let's check that out, shall we? Well, here's my email to the illustrious Senator Debbie Stabenow. Dear Senator Stabenow, I am writing this email after hearing your remarks to the Senate as they relate to the impeachment trial. I want to tell you how utterly shocked, appalled, and infuriated I was by your remarks. As a proud citizen of the great state of Michigan, I am embarrassed to call you one of our senators. Your remarks were based straight down party lines, and you disregarded and ignored important facts during your address to the Senate. The president did nothing wrong, and the facts prove that. Your Democratic colleagues had the total burden of proof to prove the president's guilt, and they came nowhere near that burden. However, there you were, with no more proof than your colleagues, spouting lies, being dishonest, and misrepresenting the facts in front of the Senate for all the people of our great state of Michigan to hear. You should be ashamed of yourself and apologize to all the people of Michigan who support our president. I will be exposing your dishonesty, your lies, and your misrepresentation of the facts on my YouTube channel. I know your true colors now. Party first and the truth be damned. I look forward to an answer from you trying to justify your truly unjustifiable position. A very disappointed citizen of the great state of Michigan, me. So I would recommend that all you Trump supporters in the great state of Michigan send Miss Stabenow an email like I did, and let her know how utterly disgusted you are with what she said. She doesn't speak for me, and I know she doesn't speak for millions and millions of other Michiganians. So come on, people, let her know what you think, okay? Thank you. Well, that's the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment, and remember, if we're not willing to fight for the truth, we substitute expediency and falsehood for true knowledge. Remember that, Senator. Well, that's it for now. More news later. Take care, and as always, be safe.